So let's get into price predictions. What do people think is going to happen here in the short term and in the long term? Anyway, looking forward to this. As you can see from CoinMarketCap, Cardano today is at 274, which is pretty much in line with where it has. It's been bouncing off the $3 range now for about a week, ever since they announced smart contracts and the launch date here coming up on September 12th. The market as a whole, let's see what's going on right now. So it's up a little bit today. The market cap's at $2.1 trillion. Bitcoin is hovering around that $49,000 level. Ethereum is 3229, and Cardano's number 3 now at 275. You can see their market caps respectively. Bitcoin's narrowing down on the $1 trillion market cap. Ethereum's about 400 billion, and Cardano is getting close to a $100 billion market cap. If you saw this in the news, it was quite interesting a couple of days ago where there was some hackers that actually took Charles Hoskinson's videos and made it look like he predicted the coin would go to $150 by the end of the year. He quickly made a YouTube video that contradicted that and basically said that he would never predict what the price would be. But it was interesting. It floated around the ether on the internet for a couple of days, and people were getting really excited about, like, oh my gosh, it was at about $3. They can 50x their money, but it was just all hype. So the big news for today was that Cardano launched in Japan, and everybody thought that that would be an enormous price catalyst. As now Japan jumps in as the world's third largest economy, and they can buy Cardano on Bitcoin, which is their largest cryptocurrency exchange, sort of like how Coinbase is to the United States. Bitcoin, though, only offers 4 cryptocurrencies at the moment. There's Bitcoin, I believe Ethereum, Litecoin, and now Cardano. Japan has incredibly difficult crypto rules. They don't want anybody in the country to get scammed, obviously, unlike the US, where we'll allow just about anything to happen. And there's thousands and thousands of coins out there, but most of them aren't traded on the exchanges here in the US. You have to go to exchanges that are offsite in order to do them. But the exciting news was that Cardano launched this morning, and everybody thought that that would pump up the coin value to over $3, but that just hasn't happened yet. Although this is a really good sign that Cardano is getting worldwide acceptance, and even in one of the hardest places in order to get adoption, Cardano is now valued inside of Japan. If you haven't, one of Cardano's main benefits is that it's proof of stake as opposed to proof of work, which is right now Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can stake your Cardano into any pool that's out there and earn rewards, typically somewhere between 4 and 6% annualized. So about 71% of all Cardano tokens that are available right now are being staked in many of the stake pools that are available. It's one of the great benefits to owning Cardano, and it also basically puts a lot of price pressure on the token itself because not a lot of it gets traded. So there's a very little supply. And obviously, as demand goes up, that really dramatically affects the price. So we'll get into a little bit about what makes Cardano unique here. One of the biggest things is that Cardano's Catalyst community is basically allows people to vote for projects that they think are going to benefit the community as a whole. The Catalyst now is on, I believe, the 6th version and has got larger and more funding through each version right now. Catalyst 5 closed about a week ago, and there was $2 million that was distributed in ADA tokens to 72 different projects. So Catalyst 6 is coming up, and it's going to be $4 million in ADA tokens, which is going to be distributed to the winners. And everyone who owns ADA tokens can vote directly from your wallet, actually. So it makes it very easy for you to go out, check out the projects that are happening, and be able to vote on what you think is going to benefit the community as a whole. And it allows those projects that are interesting or innovative to get funding that they otherwise probably wouldn't have. So it allows those projects to hopefully thrive and become a part of the ecosystem. Whereas on other sites that are out there or other tokens, they can go out and launch a project pretty much instantaneously, like Binance Smart Chain, or sometimes on Ethereum. It's very easy to do. You need to really learn the ecosystem first when it comes to Cardano and a lot of the intricacies. So the catalyst just gives those projects that do have a lot of promise the ability to hopefully get funding and to grow and to become, large part of the community. Cardano is really big into Africa. This is one of the biggest benefits, and I don't think that people understand how they're really taking the bottom-up approach to cryptocurrencies and to blockchain technology as a whole. The exciting thing about being in Africa is that not a lot of people are focused on what's going on in Africa right now. So it gives them the ability to go out and create kind of these alpha and beta projects that allow them to test their technology and also to allow the continent of Africa to benefit and their societies to benefit tremendously. Assuming everything comes into play here, the biggest announcement was that they formed basically a digital identity program with Ethiopia, and they are providing 5 million students in Ethiopia with the ability to have all of their credentials on the blockchain. You might not think that's a huge deal, but to have a government adopt a token and a blockchain to their country is a huge deal for them. And Cardano in Africa, I think, is going to make enormous strides on what they can do. And also to, like I said, taking that bottom up approach, they're giving millions, if not a billion people in Africa, the ability now to become a part of the digital revolution and also to get their identities, as we would take into account in the United States, you get a identity through your social security card. In a lot of countries, though, around the world, you wouldn't have an identity. You'd be basically unknown. And so now you're having the ability to basically get the same type of identity services, credit, those types of things that you would from the blockchain, rather than having centralized basically on the government side. So they're using Prism, which is a protocol that's being developed right now as their protocol for the Ethiopia project. And it's going to be really cool once the students start to develop it. It goes through all the institutions, all the universities. So everybody's transcripts will basically be digital. You can't fake them. You can also use them when you're going for job applications or applying for postgraduate work. It's actually a really cool project. And to see 5 million people be adopted onto the blockchain is going to be just an enormous benefit for Cardano and all of the members of the community. One of the things too that's happening in Africa right now is that there is AI being built on SingularityNet, which is a really cool project as well. A nice benefit and a lot of things that are going on that side of things. And you can check out the SingularityNet and what's going on from videos in there. One of the things I'm really excited about is the World Mobile portion, which is giving 4 billion people across the world, and they're starting in Africa, the ability to get digital infrastructure and cellular and mobile services. Really cool. I'll go through that a little bit more in detail here in a second. But there's just a ton of really cool and really innovative things that IOHK, which is Input Output Hong Kong, which is Charles Hoskinson's company that basically governs Cardano right now. Although Cardano has become governless, it's really actually moving towards a more decentralized role right now. But the most of the face and the name of Cardano will be associated with Charles for a long time. He was also the co-founder of Ethereum, as most of you probably know. So going into that, Atlas Prism is what's being used for digital identities. Really cool, the power of the trust economy. There's just so much that's going on with digital payments, and what people really like is the fact that you will own your data on the blockchain, whereas right now you're at the mercy of the large companies that are out there, right? The Equifaxes of the world, the Experians, the TransUnions that basically hold all of your spending information and all of your data and your credit reports and things like that. And if somebody hacks you or somebody steals your ID, it can take years to basically get yourself out of the situation where somebody is really taking advantage of your personal information and has used it to, apply for credit, or has basically taken those things. Prism will allow you to actually have control over your identity on the blockchain, and it's really impossible for somebody to hack into it or steal your credit or do those things that right now seem to happen on a frequent basis, to say the least. One of the really cool things, as I was mentioning, was World Mobile Token. I'm really excited about this. I didn't know what it was at first, but the more I look into it, the more excited I get. And they're really starting to, they just had their token launch here, and it ended just about a week ago. They are now starting to go, and they actually gone into Tanzania and are doing their proof of concept right now on 100,000 people, and giving them the ability to use mobile devices in places that otherwise weren't connected. It's just an amazing concept, and it really is about to change the way that cellular service is delivered across countries all over the world. They're connecting the 100,000 people in Tanzania to start, but it's going to be 1 million people here by the beginning of next year, and then tens of millions of people here in the next couple of years. So this is going to allow Cardano to really grow and to really benefit from their World Mobile Token, connecting all of these people directly onto the Cardano blockchain through the WMT token, and giving these people also too a way of using the monetary benefits of Cardano and WMT to help themselves in their situations, to be able to have a source of value that they can transfer. These people don't have a heck of a lot of anything, including, assets and currency, but the WMT token now will allow them to trade, basically it's like cellular minutes from person to person, and it can be used as a form of digital currency. It's a really cool notion, and I think it's going to really dramatically help not only the people, but Cardano and the world in the long run. It's something that's not going to happen here overnight, but it will happen, for the next couple of years, and it'll be a really cool transformation to see more and more people become connected that weren't. As it mentions in the opening, 4 billion people currently don't have access to high-speed internet or mobile technology, and World Mobile Token aims to fix that by allowing people to get connected for a very little amount. You can see the cell tower there that they're installing. It costs about $5,000 total, and they actually will install it into all the villages and then allow them to utilize everything and to benefit from the technology. It's basically a couple of cell panels and solar panels and the cell site, and it allows everybody to get connected. So it's really super cool, and I can't wait to see some of the benefits that happen from World Mobile Token over the long term here. So what's the big catalyst here for the next couple of weeks? That's going to be smart contracts. And that's really what's propelled Cardano from $1.40 or so about 2 weeks ago to almost $3 now where it is. Smart contracts, as you know, on Ethereum are basically driving the DeFi revolution, where decentralized finance now applications can take over. You can earn interest, you can make short-term loans, you can do all of those things peer-to-peer. There's no centralized authority that's needed. So no banks, no insurance companies, no third party needs to be involved. You can just basically lend your tokens from one person to another, or exchange them and earn a part of that exchange fee when it happens. So it's a really cool portion of what's happening. But smart contracts are not all DeFi. There's a lot more to them than that. And they allow basically the blockchain to thrive and to have all these decentralized applications built on top of it. It is going to be a really cool time for Cardano. And there's kind of the price chart, as you can see what's gone on here over the last couple of weeks. The pricing in the short term obviously is really based on rumors and hype, but we'll see in the long term. Cardano's got an amazing roadmap in future. The other thing that's going to be popping up here in the next couple of weeks is the Cardano Summit. So 2 days in Wyoming and virtually across the world of what is going on in the Cardano ecosystem and everything Cardano. As with all kinds of summits like this, it's really going to be cool to see their roadmap and to hear from their developers and the people behind the scenes and what's happening. Again, this is a really cool way to emphasize smart contracts are rolling out September 11th, and then the Cardano Summit happens on the 25th and 26th. So again, we're going to go through this really big hype cycle in September, and it's really coexisting with the Bitcoin cycle as well, as Bitcoin kind of reaches 50,000. It just passed the 50,000, which is kind of that barrier that psychological barrier a couple of days ago. Bitcoin could narrow in on their all-time highs here in the near future and hit that $64,000 level, or even go to $100,000 or more by the end of the year, which some people are predicting. With Cardano announcing all of these things coming up, they've also too got a really great way to take advantage of what's happening in the entire crypto cycle. And you'll see other portions of the coins that are really blasting off here, like Solana and Avalanche, and some of the other ones that have taken advantage of what's going on right now. We are in a really nice bull run, and hopefully it continues for the next couple of months. But we'll also too in this presentation go through the crypto cycles, and we may be hinted for another winter like we were in 2018, but hopefully that doesn't happen here for the next couple of months. So here are some of the projects that really excite me. If you don't know the Cardano ecosystem, it is thousands and thousands of developers that have gone through the Plutus Pioneers program. We actually have a couple people on our staff that have gone through it as well. They're able to program smart contracts and be ready for the launch of the Goguen era, which is happening here on September 12th. Smart contracts will be able to be rolled out and utilized on the blockchain, and it allows all of these decentralized applications to be used. Right now, there are some NFTs and things like that that have been developed for Cardano, and there is the ability to trade NFTs back and forth right now. But smart contracts will really allow that to open up tremendously, and you'll see a lot more NFTs be traded on the blockchain for Cardano, because the fees are just so much cheaper and they're faster than the Ethereum network. Solana had a really big project, the decentralized ape rollout, which happened about a week and a half ago, and really gave Solana a lot of hype and exposure. And the token essentially exploded up to over $70 where it's trading right now, but it was back in the $30 range just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So all of these decentralized applications are going to be rolled out, or these are all projects that are right now being developed. I'm using some of them. There are some that are going to be transitioning to the Cardano ecosystem after September 12th. Some of them right now are ERC20 tokens. They're on the Ethereum network, but they're going to be transitioning over here in the next couple of weeks. So the Cardano community is probably the biggest benefit to everything that goes on inside Cardano. People love the community because they share. There's a ton of information out there. And if you haven't watched some of the IOHK videos or Charles Hoskinson's channel, he comes on periodically, a couple times a week, typically right now, and is explaining to people exactly what's going on, what their roadmap looks like, if there's any problems they see coming up in the future, or if everything's looking like it's going smoothly. And the YouTube information that's out there for Cardano is absolutely amazing, including the Plutus Pioneer program. So if you do want to learn how to program smart contracts, all of the information is available to you, and it's all right there at your fingertips. So let's get into price predictions. What do people think is going to happen here in the short term and in the long term? In the short term, obviously, people are saying, well, we can get to $10, which would be amazing. That's pretty much a 3.5 times where we are currently today. And some people are saying more. I personally have a tendency to think that as we get through these hype cycles, we're going to see a increase in price and probably a little bit of a sell-off too as we get through these things. But with the two main things that are popping up here in September, which is the smart contract rollout on the 12th, and then the Cardano Summit on the 25th and 26th, there is a lot of room for Cardano to run. And like I mentioned at the beginning, over 70% of people are staking their tokens. So there's not much available. As they roll out smart contracts, there's going to be a lot of Cardano that's tied up utilizing those smart contracts, just like in the Ethereum blockchain, where you have a ton of Ethereum that's tied up in the DeFi space. We'll start to see the same thing with Cardano. The thing with Cardano that's different than Ether, obviously, is that with 70% or more of the tokens staked, I believe that Ethereum has about 10% or so of their token staked in ETH 2.0, which is supposed to be rolling out probably in March or April of next year. There's a lot of Ethereum that is available to be traded, so the price can fluctuate accordingly, but the supply level is still there. When it comes to Cardano, the amount that's staked and also to the amount that's going to be used in protocols and all the dApps that I just showed in the ecosystem is going to be it's going to put a lot of price pressure. And when people start using these applications, they'll start to basically utilize the Cardano tokens as well and tie them up in the ecosystem, which is going to allow even less supply to be traded. In the long term, there's a lot of forecasts that are out there. And the one thing that I think is going to happen is that Cardano at some point here, probably not in this cycle, but in the cycles to come, will pass up Ethereum, and it is a much better protocol, I believe, in the long term than what Ethereum offers. As far as Bitcoin goes, Bitcoin is a great store of value, but just being like digital gold allows it to have that ceiling involved with it. You do see people that say that Bitcoin is going to $100,000 this cycle, or $200,000, or $1 million in the next couple of years, which it could definitely do. But Bitcoin is based on the fact that you are holding a long-term store of value. So as long as that's the case and more people want to hold that store of value, then sure, you've got supply and demand issues, right? You have a limited supply of 21 million Bitcoin that'll ever be mined, and you have people that desire it because it's an easy way for them to store their value in something that they can transmit digitally and not have to worry about holding it in a vault like gold or something like that. So when it comes to Cardano, I'd love to hear your opinions, what you think is going to happen here in the next month or two. And then if we do go into a crypto winter, which a lot of people are predicting, because we've seen that over the last 3 Bitcoin cycles, right? In 2013, Bitcoin pumped up, and then 2014 came right back down. And then 2017 went up to 20,000, came right back down to 4,000, sat around that price point for a while. Now it's going through its $64,000 cycle, which a lot of people out there don't believe we're at the top yet, because they think that it's going to go up to the 100,000 or even higher level in this cycle. But we may have another, winter where it comes back down and goes down to that $20,000 level or below. And right now, unfortunately, the altcoins, or everything that's not Bitcoin, tends to follow that same exact pattern. When Bitcoin goes up, the entire market goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, the entire market goes down. At some point, there'll be a decoupling, and we'll start to see the altcoins, especially hopefully Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, XRP, some of the others, the main blocks out there, decouple and hopefully have their own market that they can, utilize, similar to what happens in the stock exchange, where you see, just because one stock goes up doesn't mean all of them go up, or one goes down doesn't mean all of them go down. But right now, everything's pretty much coupled with Bitcoin. So if we do see a winter here at the end of this year or some point next year, we may see a decline in the market that's really drastic, similar to other cycles where altcoins went down 90% at some times. And, even Ethereum in the last cycle, was up in the $400 range and then went right back down 90% of its value. Bitcoin lost 85% of its value. So, if we do hit that winter time frame, there may be a bump in the road. But 4 years from now, when we do have the Bitcoin halving again, that's when everything tends to really dramatically have these blow off tops and prices skyrocket and everybody gets excited about crypto. So I'd love to open it up to what you have to say. I think right now Cardano will probably get to between $8 and $10 this cycle, which hopefully we'll see in the next couple of months. That'll give it a market cap of probably somewhere around 300 million or so, which will put it right in line with where Ethereum is. But I do believe Ethereum will go up as well. It'll probably hit its all-time high, if not more, in this cycle. And we'll see Bitcoin probably go up to over $1 trillion, where it was at the $64,000 level. If we do see that crypto winter that's coming up, we'll see all of these drop dramatically. Bitcoin will probably go back down to 20, 25,000, and then everything else will drop off tremendously. And that's where everything gets shaken out. Your Doji coins and your meme coins that are out there will will pretty much lose all of their value because they're really just hype and speculation more than anything else. But the ones that do have utility to them, the coins that offer their holders a lot of benefits, the level one coins and tokens that are available, like your Cardanos and your Ethereums and your XRPs and others, will really start to shake out over that winter and start to gain some more momentum, and there'll be more development that happens on top of them. And going into the next cycle, it will probably just allow them to grow that much faster. And I do believe Cardano in the next 10 years here will hit the $50 to $100 level. At 31, Cardano would be a $1 trillion market cap. So that would be kind of where Bitcoin is right now. And if it goes up in increments like that at 90, in the mid 90s to 100, that would be a $3 trillion market cap, which I believe is very attainable, especially with all of the development and all of the applications that are happening right now. And in the next 5 to 10 years, I do believe that crypto will become synonymous with what we think of as far as the internet, and blockchain technology will be adopted by just about everyone. And we'll wonder what we did before without it, because everything right now is going to be mobile, and all payments will happen instantaneously rather than having to wait for a lot of time to go by if you're doing a traditional transaction that involves any type of banking institution. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to, drop them in the chat, or if you'd like to unmute yourself and, let me know where you stand as far as what you think is going to happen with the crypto market as a whole, or Cardano, individually. Oh, I did want to let everybody know too that I do run a staking pool, which is istakeada.com. That allows me to stake my ADA tokens and earn rewards from it, but also allows people to delegate to it. If you guys do own Cardano, or somebody who does and they want to delegate to our staking pool, that would be fantastic. Also, if you like this video, please make sure to leave a comment and a like. As far as if you're watching right now on Meetup or YouTube, I'll post this video on YouTube when we're done too. So if you or anyone would like to rewatch it, or you missed something, you can feel free to watch it on YouTube and share it with your friends that way as well. Well, it does look like we have a lot of comments or questions going on. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here today. I appreciate you guys who made it for the video. Hopefully you learned something and got some great information. And please feel free to reach out to me, and you can direct message me on any of the social channels that are out there. My website is christianpeter.com, and my social channels on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, YouTube are all available. Feel free to DM me if you've got any questions, or you just like to collaborate more about crypto, Cardano, and the entire ecosystem. Thanks so much, guys.